Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So today I'm going to be doing a stitch tutorial. I'm going to teach you how to crochet. This is the zipper puff stitch. As you can see, the puffs kind of go, I guess, looking like a zipper. So it's pretty solid stitch, and it does look the same on both sides. And it is just a one row, sorry about my tail there, just a one row repeat. So it's not hard at all to do. It is a yarn eater, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern, gorgeous stitch. So do you guys want to go ahead and get started? Let's do this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, so you don't miss out on any of my tutorials or yarn content. So for this purpose of this tutorial, I'm using a yarn from Ice Yarns. This is their Picasso yarn. It is a acrylic polyester blend, a medium weight number 4, and the color is called Rainbow. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Now you can use this stitch for whatever you want: blankets, scarves, cowls, tops, sky's the limit, pot holders, it doesn't matter. It's a very, very useful stitch. So this stitch is done in a multiple of 3 plus 2. So what you do is you go ahead and start with a slip knot on your hook. Like that. And then you want to start chaining in multiples of 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you keep doing that until you get your piece as big as you want it to be, whether it's a scarf or a blanket, however big you want. And once you get it as long as you want it to be, like that, add 2 more stitches to the end. So a multiple of 3 plus 2. So we're going to go ahead and start with row 1. We're going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from our hook. So we never count this one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, single crochet into that second stitch, like that. And then we're going to work across the row, putting 1 single crochet into every stitch until you get to the end of the chain. So row 1 is 1 single in every stitch until you get to the end of your row. Alright, once you make it to the end of row 1, we're going to go ahead and start row 2. And this is where we're going to make the puff stitches. So we're going to start off by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, it doesn't count as anything. So we're going to work right back here into this very first stitch, and we're going to work a double crochet. Just like that. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches. Skip, skip, and we're going to put a double crochet into the next. Just like that. Now we're going to back it up into this first stitch right here that we skipped, and we're going to work one of our puff stitches. So I'm going to show you how we work the puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into that first stitch that we skipped, and we're going to draw up a loop. Now we want to do that 4 times total. So that would be number 1. Again, yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop. That's 2 times. Again, yarn over, go in the same stitch, draw up a loop. That's 3 times. One more time, yarn over, go into the same stitch, draw up a loop. That's 4 times, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 9 loops, and then chain 1. So that is how the puff stitch is made in this pattern. And as you can see, it kind of just went all the way around that double crochet that we made. Alright, now we're going to start the repeat of the row. So again, we're going to skip 2 stitches. But if you look closely at this one, you can see that this is where the double crochet was. So this stitch has already been worked. I know sometimes it looks like it hasn't been. So skip 2, skip, skip, and double crochet into the next. Now we're going to work our puff stitch again, but we're not going to work it into the first single crochet that we skipped anymore. From now on, we're going to work it in the same stitch that we put our last double crochet into. So you can see it right there. That's where we need to work it. So we're going to work our puff again into that spot. We're going to yarn over, go into it, and draw up a loop, and we want to do that 4 times. So that was 1, yarn over, go into the same spot, draw up a loop, that's 2. Again, yarn over, go into the same spot, draw up a loop, that is 3. One more time, we yarn over, go into the same spot, draw up a loop, that's 4. You'll have 9 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 9, and chain 1, just like that. And then we're going to repeat that again. So again, we need to skip 2 stitches, but remember this one is already worked, so that one doesn't count. So skip, skip, double crochet into the next, and then we're going to back it up, and we're going to put our puff stitch into the same stitch that we worked our last double crochet, right there into that spot. So yarn over, go in, draw up a loop 4 times total. So 1, 2, 3. One more time makes 4, 9 loops, yarn over and go through all 9, and chain 1. And this is what we're going to repeat until we get near the end of the row. So again, skip 2 stitches, but remember this one's already worked, so it doesn't count. Skip, skip, and double into the next. And then we're going to back it up and puff stitch into the stitch that we worked our last double crochet, so right here. So I'm going to keep repeating this pattern, and I'll meet back up with you near the end of the row. Alright, when you make it to the end and you see you'll have 3 stitches left here, you want to skip 2, skip, skip, and we're going to double crochet into the last stitch. So the ending of this row is a little bit weird, and it's the only time that we end the row like this. So we're going to double crochet into that stitch, that last stitch. Then we're going to go back and work our puff here into the same stitch as our last double crochet. Yarn over, go through all 9, chain 1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to end by putting a double crochet into the same stitch that we put the very last stitch that we put the double crochet into before. And that's the only time that we do that. Alright, and that will end row 2. Now row 3 is the repeat row, so it's a 1 row repeat. We're just going to keep repeating row 3 back and forth. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now remember that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to go back into this very first stitch, and we're going to put a double crochet into it. Just like that. Now, and what we're going to be working in is these puff stitches here. We're going to be working in these little sides of them right here from now on. That's going to be where we put our double crochet. You see that? This side of each puff. So we're not going to go into this first one, but this next one right here, the side of it right there, that little spot right there, put a double crochet into that. Like that. And now we're going to work our puff into the top of this double crochet that we just put this double crochet into. So right in the same spot, we're going to yarn over and go right into that double crochet right underneath, right in the same spot we just worked our first double crochet, and we're going to work our puff stitch into that spot. Chain 1, and now again we're going to jump over to the, here we just worked into this puff, so we're going to jump over here to the next one, and if you pull it apart just a little bit, you'll see this spot right here on the side. That's where we're going to work our double crochet, and we're going to start our repeat row now. Now we're going to work a puff in the same spot that we put our last double crochet, so right here, see that? And the side of this puff right here where we put the last double. Once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. You'll see you'll be booking right along. Chain 1, and we're going to jump to our next puff, which is right here. Find the side of it, this little spot right here, and double crochet into it like that, and then we're going to back it up, and we're going to put a puff into the same spot that we just worked our last double crochet, which was the side of this puff. So you can see that double crochet kind of hanging out right there. I'm going to put a puff into that spot, and this is what we're going to repeat until we get to the end of the row. Again, jump over here to your next puff right here, double crochet into that side spot of it, and then we're going to come right over here to where we just worked our last double crochet. It's at the side of the puff right before this one, see that? And we're going to work a puff into that spot. We're going to repeat this until we get near the end of the row, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. All right, I'm coming near the end here, and you can see that I have one puff left. So we're going to go into this spot here. It's on the back side of this puff, and we're going to put a double crochet into that spot. It's the spot, here's the double crochet from the previous row. We're going to go into this spot right here on the back side of this puff. Okay, this is how we end every row now from now on, and we're going to put a double crochet into it, and then we're going to put a puff in the spot that we put the double crochet before, just like normal. Chain 1 after that puff, and then we're going to end by putting a double crochet here in the top of this very last stitch, and that is how you end at row 3, and that is the repeat row. So we'll just repeat that row again. We're going to chain 1 and turn, double crochet right back into this very first stitch, and then we do not work in this first puff but this second one. See this spot right here that's attached to this second puff, double crochet into that, and then we're going to put a puff on top of this very first double crochet here that we double crocheted into. So we're just repeating row 3. And then we go to our next puff, we just work this one and we go to the next one. If you kind of pull it out a little bit, you'll see this little spot here. Double crochet into that. And then we're going to go back and puff into the same spot that we double crocheted before, which is the side of this puff. This little spot right here. So you just keep repeating row 3 until you get to your desired size. See, after a while, it gets real easy. And it looks really cool. I'm going to make it to the end real quick and show you how to end the row one more time. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm at my last puff. So there is a spot at the back side of your last puff right here. That's where we're going to work into. And we're going to put a double crochet into that spot. It's right before your last double crochet. It's on the back side of your last puff. Double crochet into it. And then again, we're going to go ahead and do our puff into the same spot that we put our last double crochet. Do your puff, chain 1, and end by putting a double crochet into the top of your last stitch. So I just repeated row 3 again. So that's what it kind of starts to look like. So after a few repeats, it'll start to look like this. Super cool. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope that you were able to follow along. Remember, if you make this, whatever you make out of it, you can show me a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page, or you can show me on Instagram. There's links to those below. Don't forget to check out I have over 1,000 crochet tutorials, all free for you to enjoy, and lots of yarn content as well. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and leave me a comment below and let me know what you would make out of this, if you're going to use it. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye guys.